Good afternoon everyone, Daniel Miller here. How are you guys doing? Are you enjoying your Sunday? Did you go to church? Are you having just a lie-in the whole day, or are you just playing your favorite computer stroke console stroke video games? Well, I've not done anything, so well, put it this way, I've done some admin on the channel today. We've had an enormous amount of activity during the last couple of days, and they're all to do with The Division, Tom Clancy's The Division, that is The Division 1 and Division 2. And as you know, we are expecting its sequel to come out on Friday, so Friday the 15th. We can't really wait for that. I mean, anyone who's been doing has been very, very excited. As you know, the main section of that beta was completely glitch-free. It was absolutely extraordinary, and although it provided us with the top-notch in-game mechanics, we had no idea on what the story was going to be about, and also we had no spoilers. The trouble occurred once we unlocked the endgame section, which was actually the bonus for the Division 2 open beta. Then we encountered a very, very serious glitch, and basically that section had almost no sound. So when you were in a firefight, you couldn't hear anything else but some mosquitoes and flies going about, and you know, some background noises, flags waving, that sort of thing, and that was a bit disconcerting. But at the end of the day, we just loved the content. Yesterday we had a number of the Division veterans coming in and talking live on air, and they said that they just couldn't wait for that last section called Raids, because what was given to us in the end game was giving us some sort of aura of the likelihood on those raids and what they are likely to be. I wish to stress that the section which was called the endgame is just for the beta, so it may well not be featuring in the game, but the idea of it, the concept, in-game mechanics and everything else will be exactly the same, and that was the point. We talked yesterday on air quite some time about the fact that the new system, which has been introduced by the major developers and applied to open betas and some of the demos, is quite extraordinary. Because unlike in the old days where you get half of the story given away through clips, today you are being coerced into the visual beauty of the game, fanciness of certain characters, the vanity of certain sections, you know, outfits and gear, and you get to know how to play the game, but to get to know the story, to get any giveaways, is just absolutely not accessible. It's a non-starter. So I really would like to invite people who like exploring and learning perhaps in advance to join some of those open betas. You can frequently freely download them, and if not, sometimes you can buy codes on the internet directly from the developer, to which you'll be able to get access. I know that, similar to myself, and we also talked about that yesterday, lots of people are not keen on trying out some bits and then being stopped from enjoying the whole game, and that is understandable. Many gamers want to be, you know, waiting for the actual release, and then, yeah, they'll just indulge. They don't want to be halted at a certain section with a banner saying, once you purchase the game, you'll be able to, you know, etc. But on the other hand, I think the number of beta testers is rising. People didn't know what the beta was to start with. They thought maybe beta is like a Betamax, you know, the video thingy, VCR, the old age. But they realized that beta is a giveaway from the developers, and indeed a good way of getting introduced, unless somebody obviously played the game beforehand and was, you know, quite familiar with the in-game mechanics. And so yeah, we had lots of people coming in yesterday. They talked at length about the anticipation, about the excitement, and indeed they supported my response to the community, which was to give you a refresher on the Division 1 prior to the actual sequel's release, which is on Friday. As you know, we did play the beta on the last weekend. It was quite extensive, and in fact yesterday I had one of the lengthiest streams in one go, and you know, I was in two minds about that, because I tell you what, first of all, I like doing streams which are focused, punchy and community based, right? So on average, the streams will be between 3 to 5 hours, and I think 5 hours is the tops for like one section. And then I have a lengthier break, and I'll come back maybe in the evening. We'll carry on and talk and all this. I think for most people who are not streamers, people who are not running public broadcasts and who are not involved with this section of the industry, you may not have the experience of how draining it is to be preparing for broadcasts, and also if you have busy sessions, how tiring this is when you're doing the game and communicating with everyone who comes in. And as you know, this channel is very, very interactive. I'm very focused on the community members and everybody who's coming in, and therefore I get really tired. So just coming back to yesterday, the idea was to have 2 streams, roughly between 4 and 5 hours each, focused on Destiny, and then a break in between. But I did get some incredible teams joining me, and the teams were really good, and they were really up for it. And you can really tell from the word go, the team was really orchestrated like a proper team effort. And although we hadn't played before as a squad, everything just fell into place. You had everyone doing everything that was necessary. It was a team of 4 specialists. Everyone took up a position which is applicable to any form of assault that we're conducting. Very, very supportive. There was buddy every second of our gameplay, and that's what I love. Because I've been a bit strung up during my Apex days, and during the first week we had incredible gamers and terrific time all together. But then as the game progressed on the random matchmaking, lots of people coming in who were, I guess, playing solo games. They were not familiar with the idea of multiplayer and a tight squad. And then I had some issues in there, which I talked about at length, right? So what we had yesterday was everything but. And there were several teams. I played with a number of our new community members, and first of all I'd like to pronounce some of them. I want to express my appreciation. Sekapupus here. I did see your hi earlier on, sir. Thank you for coming early. I did see that you logged in, and you were obviously watching the channel from the moment when I started broadcasting. I apologize for not responding to you immediately, because I was focused on the introduction for the session today. So I do apologize, and thank you for coming, and thank you for being here. Always appreciated. Thanks very much, obviously, for coming in and helping out with some gameplay and helping our community members by doing so. And as you know, lots of people are watching our sessions to playback as well. Maybe not the whole session, but certain sections which are of interest. And as you know, everything that is in sequence. So it's very easy to find a section that somebody wants to learn from, particularly when we have our veteran community members on board, giving instructions and providing tutorials. And that's wonderful. And just coming back to my community members, I'd like to thank Sekapupu for all the help which was provided on the channel, and also with the gameplay in terms of the advice and tips, and your participation, contributions, and everything else. So thank you so much. And I just also want to pronounce the people who came in yesterday. All of them are my new community members, so they all joined the channel and our community, online gaming community. In fact, they did come in through the random. Well, not all of them. Some of them came in through the random matchmaking, and other people joined in because they were friends of those who already entered. And that was terrific, I have to say. Not really my usual practice, because I'm very careful about what people are going to be saying on air. It's a family-friendly channel, and we want certain rules to be upheld. And when you have friends of friends being brought in through party chat, and unless people are being made aware of the fact that this is a family-friendly channel, and right from the word go, there could be some issues, because this channel is heavily moderated. People might not realize, and I have several moderators watching, and then moderators take action if certain things are done or said without actually me being told. And I've had some issues coming up during the last week which were resolved, and I always ask people to be focused on what the guidelines are here. And really the two guidelines, two things which are immediately looked at by the mods are kind of swear words. They're not acceptable on this channel at all, regardless of the type of game which is being presented. And then the other thing is people displaying judgment or being off-putting. That isn't strictly speaking like a bad word or something which is of concern in terms of family membership or family viewership, but it is something which is really of concern to people who are trying to learn how to play certain games, and therefore action sometimes is taken. So coming back to that, we've had very few of kind of mod interferences during the last 6 months of this channel, but now and then this happens, and I think particularly when we are participating with open play and entering random matchmaking through the servers, and lots of different people come in. People would have seen this on Apex, but coming back to my point, the fact is I played probably with more than 2,000 people on Apex, about more than 500 games, or more, 600-700, I can't remember, like 3 weeks of gaming really full time, and I just one situation of concern, and it wasn't really a big issue, but it was just like one amongst all of those. So I'm really very grateful to all the community members for understanding what family-friendly channel is, and also for adhering to those chat rules which indeed are present on my chat. Coming back to our community members from yesterday, I want to thank Cannibalis, our new community member from France, for his excellent contribution and wonderful participation yesterday. Cannibalis was with us for quite a number of hours, probably for 8 hours or so in stream, and indeed working very hard in order to complete our story missions. I thank Poyaski. Poyaski was also another member from France, and he participated for quite a few hours as well, so thank you so much for that, sir. Really appreciate it. I also greatly want to thank Cat77096, our new community member from the US, and her friend Crit Happens, who has been not just joining, but really actively contributing with a very valuable contribution on video gaming industry and various other issues which are connected to the way things are in the US, and the way certain things are in video gaming, and the way people are approaching certain games, and following some of their own personal preferences. Very grateful to all of them, and as I said, Cannibalis, Crit Happens, Cat77096, Bayaski, and also SSVT 18D, who joined us and had invited us to some of our groups, and we already played together with several sessions. So thank you guys. I also want to commend Matthias, our community member from the US. Matthias has been very helpful with some of the in-game dynamics, in-game mechanics, both yesterday and during my stream on the day before. And anybody who's interested in anything which is a bit more refined in terms of how you do certain things, then have a look at Matthias's contribution on those streams. And thank you, Matthias, for helping me and our community members with those in-game mechanics, and indeed with your tips and views and help overall, which is always appreciated. Thank you, sir, for providing us with this. Matthias also is one of our VIP channel members, so if you have any questions related to anything which is significant in terms of video gaming or any specific games, particularly if you are a great Assassin's Creed or Destiny fan, then Matthias is your first protocol. So hook up and ask. Matthias also helps out other people with many games, and recently he has been also teaming up with some of our community members in order to provide guidance and tutorials on Destiny in particular. As you know, this channel has been pegged to Destiny, and we had many streams of Destiny 1 and 2, particularly Destiny 1, and we'll continue with it, of course. But at the moment we have so many new games coming out, and we are really kind of trying to engage with those and provide some refreshers, which was indeed the case with the Division stream. Right, my full note of gratitude will go out on Twitter today, so I will put all the names of our community members from yesterday and thank them for the gameplay, forward message, that message to their personal accounts as well, that tweet. So thank you guys for that. Coming back to my earlier thoughts, online gaming is all about connectivity and communication. Right? So remember that it's not about being solitary, sitting in your room and trying out, an abundance of new video games. Video game industry is providing us with a unique opportunity to connect with people around the world, and those people may be completely unknown to us right at the beginning, like what my new community members were to me yesterday, but literally within minutes after we got together in the same arena, we had plenty to talk about. You know, Quick Happens talked about various things which are related to video gaming in the US, the way people approach certain games, the way people play them. Then he progressed with some descriptions on advanced skills in the Division, which were wonderful. You know, how to use certain perks, how to apply certain talents, how to pull out your shield, which is then of great assistance to yourself and your mates, how to use certain weapons such as I can't remember what it's called. It's a grenade that follows you around, you know, a bit like your pet, and all the other interesting bits of advice. It was amazing, and this is the kind of contribution we want to have. These are, you know, the most valuable elements of any sort of broadcasting on Twitch elsewhere, where we can bring people together to identify with a common view, with a common interest, and then share. You know, sharing is the backbone of every single channel here on Twitch, which is being done live, and it's just always amazing. I'm always delighted to see where you get a group of completely unknown people brought into the forum, where they become really like-minded and they share common interests and connect and become friends and continue to be so. You know, very good friends and teammates, squad members for many days, you can say hours, days, months and years ahead. I really like that, and I was really impressed with that when, you know, Halo came out initially in the last decade. Halo had this sort of proprietary element of its own in-game community, and it was all based on Microsoft and through Xbox and through, you know, various kind of user groups and forums. And I'm so pleased to see that the idea had evolved into what we have today. And what we have today is amazing. It's the opportunity to connect with so many different people worldwide. I do this every day, and you know, in my professional career, I obviously worked in real life with people who were from around the world, but never ever did I have this sort of experience of interactivity. And also, you know, people who come to a serious channel obviously talk in a way which is quite different to what they would have done if they were, you know, chatting just with their mates whilst doing online gaming, which was not in a live broadcast. So obviously the focus is on quality content, on the issues and topics which are going to be of assistance to other viewers and people who are perhaps the beginners, or maybe even very advanced players. You know, there's sometimes tactics and strategies when you watch, when you have competitive teams in, that can be applied then as a novelty. So always very interesting and useful. So thank you all. I love my community. Really humbled by the fact that so many people come into the channel, because I broadcast a lot, and as you know, I'm, you know, your everyday streamer. Not everyone who watches and contributes is also a follower, and I do get lots of people coming in on chat who I recognize instantly, you know, after I see their user ID, and then after, you know, a few months they kind of join and become a community member, because lots of people want to see what the content is before getting their regular notifications and updates. And I really applaud, you know, everyone for doing this, because you also want to make sure once you come in you will have a regular quality content, which is obviously my intention at all times. So Sikapupu is here, and I want to ask Sikapupu, have you played The Division? Do you like the game? And I guess you are also hotly anticipated its release on next Friday, Friday the 15th. The Division 2, we all can't wait for this. It's just absolutely extraordinary. And for anybody who was doing this refresher during this week, and once you enter that new The Division 2 world, you'll realize the Division 2 world you do here. And the in-game mechanics are the same, the inventory is the same, but once you go out of that base, once you start walking, my goodness, the world is a different place. There are different sorts of enemies, the activities everywhere, and you really can't relax for a split second. The other thing I need to tell you, although we encounter lots of enemies in this one, in the sequel the enemy has absolutely incredible artificial intelligence. They really are behaving as they were, you know, real people in real time. They flank you at all times, they're attacking in large numbers, they regroup according to the activity which is on display. Very, very sensitive to your aiming, so as soon as you pull out your sniper, they'll, you know, basically dive for cover and you will not be able to see them anymore. And most importantly, the enemies at most times are not marked. Just the very top enemies, the bosses and, you know, the biggest guys, they will have bars above them. But when you're walking the streets, you can never tell just by looking who's your friendly and who's your enemy, and that makes it a lot more exciting and a lot more difficult, I guess, and replayable, of course. And also the same scenario when, you know, going through the streets may not always occur. You know, if you let's say repeat certain kind of incursion 3 or 4 times, the actual activity may appear to be different. And I really like that. Sekapupa says that, no, I haven't played it. Sekapupa says he has not played the Division 1. Well, we are doing this refresher at the moment. You'll be able to see some of it. And I can certainly say if you are going to be playing Anthem, then the Division 1 and 2 will be very much of interest. Not many online magazines made this correlation or comparison, but actually the idea of having a team of specialists, you know, a team of 4, which is present in the Division, is out there in the Anthem as well. So it's a team of 4, they're specialists, and the games, both games, Anthem and the Division, are played the best as a multiplayer in that squad of 4. Obviously you can do it in a team of 2 or 3, but really squad of 4 makes really a big difference. I think anyone who watched it yesterday could tell you, because I did play some missions in a team of 2 and then some in a team of 3, and most of the times you had a team of 4, and it really sort of, you know, sprang up to life. And I think anyone who wants to experience the very best of those 2 games will have to be doing it in a team of 4, and you'll get then the best action, you'll get many more missions, and indeed in Anthem in particular you'll get the very best of loot. In Anthem it will depend also on your difficulty level, so if you were to be doing it on let's say the first 3 difficulty levels, the loot will be quite good, but once you unlock the other 3, then everything's gonna obviously be brought to a different life altogether. Anthem is plagued still by technical issues. I just had some news from BioWare today. They had released the latest update in the last 24 hours, and I think they had worked 24/7 for the last 4 weeks to make sure everything will be in order. Not happening yet, slowly progressing. It wasn't my concern to hear that the last update, i.e. the update prior to this one from today, has caused some serious problems on PlayStation 4, and there were many unhappy customers filing in complaints. They had 1,400 logged or registered complaints on OS problems, which were caused directly by this update. It wasn't possible to tell as to why, because obviously different people are in possession of the PS4, and it's only just some consoles that reacted to that. But obviously they work on final resolution, so to speak, that this is all going to be eradicated sooner or later, and therefore, just like everyone else, I'm waiting for that to be completed, and then we are going to be having also our Anthem stream here. The game's already in my library, and like many other people, I didn't want to be trying it because of those issues, and it's VIP and open demo caused me many headaches on the technical front, that is. On the other hand, I absolutely love the gameplay, so I can't wait to engage. But lots of new games coming out. You guys playing Devil May Cry 5? This game also has been released on Friday, and I've seen some streamers doing it already during the week. The game has had absolutely stellar reviews from every single online magazine, and they're giving it 9.5 out of 10. So really quite excited to try it as well. And I watched some video documentaries and presentations during the Microsoft's Mexico City presentation, and you know, it was just very, very appealing, and all the add-ons which were introduced to the game and everything else that you know, came across, such as customization of weapons. In fact, if I understood correctly, when you walk through the streets of that city, you find certain bits which were in your inventory, and then from those bits you can just craft a special weapon that's going to be your own weapon. You know, like, you can use it and you put it together. And they were showing this weapon which was made out of kind of cutlery and pasta containers. So, you know, really quite good fun, and just in a similar fashion to what you have with skins and other bits of kit. People really like toying with this, and, you know, bought better. It's a bit like, let's say you bought lots of different materials and then you craft an item which is just yours. It's specific to what you want to do, and it's your own. You have your own recipe. So baking a cake, making a coat, being your you know, own Versace, you are going to have that kit just for yourself. I love the idea. I have to say, I love the idea, and I want to see it in action as well. If you're interested, have a look at some of my colleagues, other online streamers. Several are doing Devil May Cry 5. Just go through my list of contacts, and, you know, you get those straight away. So definitely have a look, and some of those will be very, very entertaining, exciting, and appealing, obviously, for you to buy the Ultimate Edition to get everything in it. Alright, so what we need to do today, we'll have 2 streams. This is my kind of day stream, or, you know, my early afternoon stream, and I have to do a lot of work on my inventory, so I may not have a lot of action during the stream. As it is Sunday today, I want to have my Sunday dinner as well. Yesterday, I missed out on my dinner, and therefore I had it much later than usual. And I have to tell you, this is not something that I want to have, you know, as regular practice, because I need to have those breaks, and I need to have my dinner and everything else. But as a one-off, it's perfectly okay. I told you the reason, and it's very simple. I had several excellent teams on board. People who were not just playing the game together with me, but also queuing up to join, and we did have a small rotation, you know, later in the session, which worked perfectly. Everybody who was coming in watched the team and then adjusted the strategy. We've had 1 or 2 top players in the team, and then we had 1 or 2 who were, I wouldn't say at the beginning, but they didn't have the top quality kit as yet, and, you know, that would be obviously affecting their hit registration, but didn't really matter. If you had several people who were the veterans, they could be spearheading the effort, and then you tactically could provide by distraction, cover, you can draw enemies away from your other mates. You know, there's a lot more to do there than just hit the enemy and collect your scores. And I really loved it. I really had a wonderful time, and that dinner I had at the end tasted so good. You know, it gives you a sense of reward and accomplishment when you know you've been working hard to get to certain results, and they're all there. And thanks to our community members, this was nice and easy. And most importantly, it was, first of all, very entertaining, highly energizing, and thoroughly enjoyable. So, both for us as the gamers and for the viewers. So, wonderful. Right, so I told you all about yesterday, about all we've done. And I was very, very pleased to hear that almost everyone who joined in yesterday tried the open beta of The Division 2, and they talked at length about the experiences. So that was amazing, and everyone was excited, and they agreed with my viewpoint that The Division 2 is going to be one of the best tactical shooters of all times, and in fact it may be kind of superseding Rainbow Six Siege. At the moment, one of the most popular tactical shooters on the planet. Coming back to that game, the new map was released during the last 24 hours, so if you are one of those gamers doing Rainbow Six Siege, absolutely purchase it, download it. If you are on the annual pass, you'll have it already included. Crack on with that one. I've seen trailers, it looks amazing. And Rainbow Six Siege is a game that I did stream here a little while back, and I'll get back to it as well, probably in you know, in relation to the Division 2 as well, so we can, you know, toy a bit. We'll go from Division 2 to the Division 1 and then experiment with some of the tactics. Nothing better than having a veteran team of gamers swinging from one game to another and then, you know, teaching the beginners, providing them with their experience, knowledge and skill. So absolutely very, very enjoyable and something we want to be doing on a regular basis. Right, so let me think. What do we do? First of all, we'll start the game. Then we'll go to the base of operations, our HQ, and then we'll do the inventory. Because the firefights are so relentless and the number of missions completed yesterday was insane, I've gone from level 6 to level 26, and we completed all the story missions. We did lots of side quests and encounters. So, you know, it felt like a massive, big marathon, which was being completed step by step. I didn't have time because of my viewers, and I'm just looking. Each per second is a very important one. DPS. Coming back to yesterday, we've had so much action. There was so much activity, and I didn't want to be slowing down, you know, the actual pace by doing a lot of inventory and spending, you know, an enormous amount of time in my base of operations. I did go there a couple of times, but there are talents and skills to be attached. I need to be double checking my weapons. There's a lot of inventory to be done, so we are going to do that exactly as said right now. So let's have a look at that.
Now entering a safe area.
I am in the safe area, so that's very good. And the first thing I'll do is have a look at my inventory. So I did complete some of those yesterday, and dossier was all done. So what we are going to do is, let me just quickly have a look. You want to see the dossier, you just go to one of those and then you click, you know, and you'll get obviously further information. Like Avenger, 33%. Take out 10 named bosses in Manhattan, 10 in the Dark Zone and 10 in Westside Pierce. I've completed some of that. Manhattan 10 out of 10, and the other ones I've not gone to at all. Right, so you've seen that. So commendations, that basically is what you completed as you went along, and these are your trophies, right? And some other achievements. So looking for group, I created a group, people joined in, we've had a squad of 4. Shut the door, close the car door whilst in cover. That's also one of those trophies. It's sort of a bit rare. I think most people don't do that. And I have a sort of standard practice when I play particularly Battle Royale games, always to close doors. Because A, they provide you with cover, and secondly, they will conceal the fact that you are in a particular building. Lots of people forget this. They leave the doors open and therefore they're more vulnerable. So evidence is... In fact, we'll watch a bit of evidence. I didn't really manage to watch much of it yesterday as we were racing through our missions, so I think this might be a good introduction to our beginner viewers. Also, it will blend in very well with our story missions, which so far have been completed, and you can then just enjoy, you know, a bit of cinematics, a bit of content. So let's have a look at the footage that has been collected. All the footage is here. 6 out of 6 is already in inventory, so nothing more to collect from that front. Dreadful enemies, as you could see. Let's have a look at another footage right this video.
Is that it?
No, let me call it in. Dispatch is car 2-4. We have visual on unit 5-5. Looks abandoned, over.
Copy that, over. Mother Christ! Shit, they're behind us! Forget it, just go! Now, now! Dispatch, this is car 2-4. We are open. Car 2-4, what's going on out there?
Dispatch, this is car 2-4. We are... Get back up.
Don't shoot. I want to join up with you guys, I swear. I know things.
Take him to the captain. See if he sticks.
Roger that. On your feet, you. You will regret this. I swear. You there.
Hey! Give me that!
Soldiers of the Last Man Battalion, this is your commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Bliss. There were those among us who were angry when the decision was made to leave us behind. Leave us to die, as some people said. But I looked around at this city, and I saw opportunity. I saw what it had been. And I saw what it could be once again if someone had the guts to fight for it. If there were men willing to go out in the streets and take them back from the degenerates and lowlifes who ruled them now. To do what the cowardly government and its fearful, weak soldiers were too afraid to do. And to cut down all the liars and murderers and thieves who stand in the way of peace. We will not look back. We will not compromise. We will do whatever it takes to ensure a better tomorrow for all those who stand with us. And those who stand against us, may God have mercy on their souls. Bliss out. Tell me we got that. Because God damn it, I'm not doing it a second time.
One cut. One cut's gonna make you bleed. But one cut don't kill you. One cut just makes a scar.
We're gonna fucking fight him.
A deeper cut.
We're gonna fucking fight him. We're gonna get him. We're gonna...
Makes you cry. But you can turn that cry into a roar, or you can turn it into a whimper. That's your choice.
I can't
So you can choose to be a victim, no matter where you at.
I can't take
Top of the penthouse, in a prison cell, or even free. Roaming your own streets again. Complain about the cold, the rats. Complain about who's in charge. Some people want to stay the victim. They want to cry. I'll give you what you want. You want to be the victim? Well, I'll make you one. I'll make you one. Me? I'm gonna take what's mine. They say this disease is a tragedy. They say it's the end of the world.
Oh, yeah.
This disease is our teacher. Teaching the uniforms that they done. Teaching us to rise up. They taken from us long enough. Now we take from them. Their houses, their cars, their families, their lives. This is our time. And now is our time. It's our time.
As you could all see, these enemies are dreadful, they're beastly, they're deadly, they disobey the law. As is the case with that colonel in there, he forgot about his allegiance and what he swore to protect. So, quite frankly, it's shocking. But at the same time, this game is providing us with this dark vision of a world that's gone downhill after a major outbreak of some dreadful disease. There is a complete standstill you know, everything to do with city institutions and with the government sections or government departments basically cease to exist, and we have an eruption of that dreadful violence linked to many gangs, rebels, rioters, looters, you name it, and life becomes simply unmanageable and apocalyptic. In fact, you know, this is a situation of civil war where you have many different factions fighting against one another, and it is a dark, nightmarish vision of what can happen if any form of major disaster was to hit any of the countries, or, you know, any of the sections of our society which we could call well organized, well developed and civilized. So it's a nightmarish vision. And obviously the division is a group of agents trying to eradicate all of those ills of the world, and their task is to protect both humanity and then their fellow citizens, and indeed to uphold law and order whenever possible. So that's the pretext of what we see here in the division, and the gameplay is very, very enjoyable. You know, once you're in a team of 4, you go through all these different missions. I think many gamers complained initially, once the game came out, that they felt there was a lack of content, and when you are coming to Division 2, you'll see the action is literally on every corner, and even if you are walking from one destination to another, even if they're in a very, very close proximity, there'll be many, many incursions, and you have to really watch out. Therefore, you will be doing it the best if you are in a squad of 4. So remember that if you are purchasing that beautiful Ultimate Edition of the Division 2, don't play by yourself. You know, bring in your friends, use the matchmaking, do things together, and therefore your experience is going to be massively elevated and thoroughly enjoyable. Okay, so we have virus reports in here. Very quickly, we can see that we still need to collect one of those, and I probably missed
Samples
it.
of the original green poison pathogen, the ones we recovered off the currency used as a primary transmission vector, let us take a closer look at the virus's basic genome. What I found was clear evidence the bug had been manufactured. There's genetic material there from a half-dozen other pathogens, bolted onto smallpox to make a more efficient killing machine. One of the things that makes a virus lethal is adaptation. Rapid mutation makes it harder for antibodies to identify and drugs to kill. What we're seeing in the samples you pulled from the population at the train yard is the degree of genetic drift green poison is already experiencing, and it's significant, which means it'll be that much harder to find a vaccine. What you're looking at is the smallpox virus. It normally takes 1 to 2 weeks for it to incubate in a host, and it's not contagious while it's doing so. Looking at Amherst's notes, it's clear he wanted to change that, to make green poison infectious while it developed, and to speed up that incubation process to make it spread faster. In English, it's more contagious and it reproduces faster. And that's bad. We've got confirmation that green poison wasn't bred. It was coded. Specifically, he picked up on his buddy Chernenko's research about modifying virus genomes in a virtual space, kicked it up a few notches, and fed the result into an industrial protein replicator. What came out the other end was a working virus, one he could keep tweaking to achieve maximum effect. By which I mean, dead people.
I don't get it. You think there's maybe enough virus going around right now?
It's all about the leverage. If I've got my hands on the dollar flu starter kit, this green point take a run at me.
A gun's a lot better for self-defense than a weaponized virus.
Stop thinking small. Start thinking possibilities. There's no medical infrastructure anymore. It's the Wild West out there, but less civilized. Being able to turn certain death loose at any time I want puts me in a powerful position. And controlling the core ingredients for a vaccine, that's useful too.
So you might kill even more people. Who's gonna notice?
It's not the killing, it's the threat of being able to kill. And giving them the hope they might be saved. The way things are breaking down out there, all these different groups carving their own territories out of what used to be civilization, it only makes sense to have an ace in the hole.
I think we need to modify the terms of our agreement.
Why, Colonel? It seems to be working perfectly well so far. You get the support of my people and their gear with field intel you couldn't dream of 6 weeks ago. I get a base of operations, a place on what's going to be the winning side, and the occasional use of your manpower as needed.
Not to mention the occasional surface-to-air missile. Or have you forgotten about that chopper in Brooklyn?
Look, my people did the dirty work on that op, Bliss, and eliminating Division Senior Command was as much a benefit to you as to me. The last thing either of us wanted was a senior division agent directing a second wave. Hang on, I'm getting feedback on the link.
We've been compromised?
Looks like. Cutting the link now.
No, don't you.
Can't believe the bullshit that went down in the dark zone at the end there.
I know. We had it. Everything I told them was dead on. They made us pull out anyway.
And we left our dead behind.
Yeah, we're not supposed to do that. Hang on a second. Look, we don't leave people behind. We're here to make sure this city doesn't get left behind. But the people we're working with, they're just fine with leaving all of us behind if it's convenient. Look, I don't agree with every decision that's been made, but I am saying it's time to leave them behind. Their model doesn't work anymore. If we're smart, we cut it loose before it drags us down, before it kills us. You're talking treason. I'm talking common sense. Look around. There's nothing left to save. The JTF is trying to save a Manhattan that doesn't exist anymore. It is all about power now. Power and survival. They are done, but I am not. And you won't be either. Not if you work with me.
As you could see, we had collected quite a lot of evidence. Footage, we have 6 out of 6, virus reports 4 out of 5, surveillance 5 out of 6. In fact, as we were racing through those missions yesterday, it's possible that I missed out on certain bits there. And as you could see, 3 of those are still unlocked. So I'll probably, well, I don't really know. There are lots of side missions which I've not completed, and therefore some of the evidence might be there. But I'd just like to ask all the viewers, when you're playing the game, just pay attention to echoes and anything which is collectible. Frequently, when you run around, you may simply ignore or forget one of those items, particularly if you were playing with a squad of 4, where many enemies were attacking you, and you know there was a lot of stuff left behind. You might think it's just one of that unnecessary loot, but actually it may be surveillance data, virus report, or found footage. Very important you collect them because they are obviously tied in with the story and the actual gameplay. So let's see what we got there on field data. Survival guide. I see there's loads of those to be collected. I didn't collect very many so far. And survival guide could be read. So for instance, let me see. Meadow jacket. Reward, survival guide. So when I complete all of this, I'll get this reward, which is Meadow Jacket. But let's just quickly have a look. I'm quite interested. New York collapsed. April's text in red. Survival guide, page 1. This book belongs to April Keeler. If you find it, it will be on the south end of the traffic island in Times Square. Every day at noon, no questions asked. If you take it off my dead body, I hope it helps. April's text in pencil, pointing to crossed out red text in front of the Joe Strummer mural, 7th and A. Guidebook, New York collapse. Bill's text in black pen, to A on her birthday, because you can never be too paranoid about the world coming down around your ears. But if NYC collapses, I know we won't, babe. You and me and you, the world begins and ends here. Read on and you'll be all set when the zombies come. Love, much love, all the love, B. So that's the first page which I collected of that survival guide, and I think we are going to be reading it once everything is completed, because what's the point of reading page by page? Let me see, expansions, audio journals. I didn't get any of those yet, I don't think. Yep, so that's been left. Then we have Urbex album, okay, and then Underground. I see, so that's the expansion progressions. Alright, so dossier we examined, we don't need to bother. Yeah, that's right. And as you can see, for every single section which is fully completed, we get rewards, and they vary. You know, sometimes they are different bits of kit and jackets and boots and you name it. You know, as well as sometimes you get these emblems and shields. So very enjoyable indeed once you complete, because you get this sense of reward. And as you can see, our base of operations, our HQ is almost complete. We have 80% operational ability of Tech Wing and 8% 80% of the operational ability of Security Wing, 60 of the Medical Wing. So we need to still do a bit more work in there. So group management, as you could see, is the section where you are going to be able to invite your friends. And I can see that my French community members, Cannibalis and Roachman CT, are already cracking on with the game. We did play yesterday in a team of 4 with Poyaski, and we had a lot of fun. So this was a very, very good team. Look forward to joining this team again, but not at the moment, because after I've done this first section of my afternoon broadcast, I will go and have my dinner, and then after that I'll go for a walk, and after that I'll go for swimming. When I completed my swim, then I'll come back and carry on with my broadcast. So we are not going to be broadcasting for 12 hours on a trot like yesterday. If anyone looked at that, this was basically completely unusual. That's my second unusual stream. The other most unusual one was, what was it, 32 hours and 45 minutes, and that was a bit extraordinary. All related to that wonderful new Battle Royale game, Apex Legends. I've not played it now for a couple of weeks, and lots of my community members were coming and asking, when are you going to be back? I can't do everything, you know, and I'm focused on various tasks as scheduled. We are trying to be as much in tune with the new games and activities out there, and, you know, products that will be coming out within the next few months. We want to be on board and indeed focused on everything new and exciting. And as you know, when you're having the second or third installment of any franchise, indeed there are lots of community members attached to those games that are very excited. And not to say that I will do that for every single game, but for certainly you know, the ones I love, like The Division, Anthem, and Mass Effect, and Elder Scrolls, Destiny. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. It's obviously very interesting to be on board and to get the news hot, hot off the press. So Kapupa's back. He says he's back. Thank you, sir, for coming back. Really appreciate it. Wonderful. Hopefully you were able to see some of that footage and the audio recordings and everything else. I was playing every single thing which has been collected so far, and the reason is very simple. It's sometimes hard to take on board some of the content whilst you are doing the missions and battling it through. And there is a lot of collectible content here in the Division, and therefore the game becomes very immersive as an RPG and as a game which is played within the parameters of that wonderful, deadly, apocalyptic open world. This isn't just about teamwork or just about collecting scores, and has many layers of engagement, and therefore it is truly wonderful. I applaud Massive Entertainment and Ubisoft for producing it, and indeed for working and giving us now the sequel too. So that's the group management, but what I do need to do is, the friends only group is always being switched on by default, so the game does it. I left it on the open group, but that keeps going back to the friends only, so that's understandable. As you know, when you're in a public broadcast, you really want to have some control over who comes in, and that's the idea. However, for everyone else doing it, if you feel that not many people are coming in on your matchmaking, you need to check your previous settings and leave it for the open group, because I've seen lots of people playing the Division 1 still. When I left it for the open group, the matchmaking worked instantly, so you didn't have to wait for longer than 10-15 seconds. The team was already in. But if you leave it for friends only, obviously you'll be just scanning your friends or the friends of the people who are in your team, and therefore that will be very restrictive. So keep it in mind, really. It'll make it nice and easy. I can see that I don't have my profile picture, so I need to really do that as well. So let me see, privacy, matchmaking. Need to work out where to get a picture from. And right, so we have abilities. So let's have a look at abilities. I didn't do much of that yesterday, I have to admit, and that really is something I need to do now. So if it comes across as a bit lengthy and tedious, please do bear with me, but I have got to do it because those need to be fully switched on, and they're very complicated. Each one of the skills is linked to one of the wings: medical, technical, or security, and each one of those can be enabled in your inventory slots. Only 3, right? So the inventory slots will provide you with all those abilities, and they're special skills, and you may well be changing those according to different missions and whatever that particular mission which is ahead of you will require. We were discussing yesterday the use of several. One of those was one of those mines. It's not a sticky bomb. I think it's called, let me just see that. BFB, flashbang, disruptor, and stealthy bomb. So it's, well, it isn't actually any of those. Must be linked to some other weapon. And one of our community members was teaching us on how to use this mine, which is following you around as if it was your pet. It is providing obviously some serious danger to the enemy. Right, so we've seen that. Let's go back and see. Well, many of those are not unlocked as yet, but some indeed have been unlocked, and therefore we can be changing some of those. I think this is the turret. So let me just see very quickly. Okay, I've got it. So I did unlock 4 of those. I have base turret, active sensor, dragon breath, and zapper. Okay. So let's see which one appears to be the best. Electric darts, reduced range but shoots column of fire, and active sensor, which is giving us increases the turret's damage and pulses attack targets, making them visible to all allies, and then deploys a stationary turret that attacks nearby hostiles. Well, I think we can probably try Dragon Breath, right? So we can take Dragon Breath, okay, and then if we are to assign, we need to assign well, not too happy with that. The reason for it is quite simple. I really like those mines. Let me just quickly have a look whether this is yeah, not really. The only trouble is I don't have space. You know, I don't really want to be messing with those because they're really very good. Okay. So that, oh yeah, that's the one. That's this Seeker 9. So the Seeker 9 can be enabled as well, and you can see Seeker 9, airburst, gas charge, cluster. So all of these, right? And let's see, mobile cover is very useful as well if you are wanting to use it in squad. It will create temporary cover for one person, which provides standard cover protection until destroyed. So let's say you're in an area where there aren't any barricades or barriers, then you can just erect this one and you hide behind it. So that's very useful, right? I want to see something else. So this perk is very useful. I have to say I loved it. It is accelerating the way you heal, and once you have it fully enabled, it heals probably 3 times faster your allies and your squad mates compared to the usual. So I really want to have it on at all times, because in, you know, difficult firefights lots of people die and you need to revive them as quick as, otherwise you'll be receiving enemy fire and indeed you could get killed, not just yourself but all the other teammates, which will make it really draining. And I did notice that my reviving with those guys was much faster than with other teammates. So that's pretty good. So we'll keep this on. Alright, so we've seen all of those. Not good about that. Talents are, says that we have some. Just a moment, just bear with me, I need to see this. Yeah, okay. So we have to assign one of the talents, and we are going to be very carefully selecting those. So let's see what we have. Group talent. Okay, so we need to do that. These ones have not been as yet used, and I want to see what this is. Triage. Heal an ally with a skill to reduce skill cooldowns. Battle buddy. Description. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll focus on these. So I think we'll take this one. Yep, this one has been assigned. So that's been assigned, so that's good. Let's have a look at tech. Killer hostile with an explosion to increase explosion. I think this is a good one. This will give us reduced damage whilst we are hiding behind cover, so that's pretty good. Well, look at security and steady hands. Reducing recoil, killer hostile to reduce. This one is the best. Damage multiple hostiles with an explosion to apply 20% more damage from the blast. So that's definitely good. Definitely want that. So we have 3 talents equipped. They will be automatic. We don't have to be doing anything. And then we have perks. Okay. As you can see, these are enabled. So we have medical being upgrade. So that's been increased. Virus protection increased. Increased canned food effect duration of 10 seconds. Okay, so all of these are already enabled. Some are still locked. Okay. So that's all good. These do not require any form of engagement. There will be your perks, which are automated. So remember that perks are automated, talents have to be enabled. You need to basically put them into those slots, and then you will have also skills, they need to be put into those slots, right? So we've seen that when we go to, what is it there, we have those 2, right? And one is the grenade, which is massively explosive and damaging to the enemy, and the other is giving us some healing powers. Okay, and then the third one is our ultimate power, the ultimate weapon, and that's also giving us a full recharge on life when we press L1 and R1. So you can use it when in combat right towards the end, and you'll get the indication once the ultimate power or your super is fully charged. Okay, so that's been completed. So we have inventory. That's the last bit, and then we'll throw in one mission, I think. And I had a lot of trouble with my inventory, and the reason is simple. I do not have many spaces in there. My backpack is quite small. It's only 49 spaces, and really I would have to have at least 100 in order to be able to collect, and then, you know, 40 is very little, and you have to be constantly either dismantling weapons or selling them back to vendors. There's a lot of kit to be collected. There are lots of bits which are left by the defeated enemy. Always, you know, rake up through that, go everywhere, collect everything, and then once you get back to the base, examine, see what's useful. I was a bit unhappy with the fact that as we were so relentless and so pacey, I dismantled lots of weapons. In fact, I could have sold them back to vendors and got some money. But as you can see, I have 2,000 Phoenix credits, and I have about 6,000 to 7,000 credits also. So, you know, it's not too bad. I've got quite a bit of money. But also when you dismantle, you are getting certain parts, and they're very, very useful, right? So let me just have a look at the weapons at the moment as they stand. I've kept just the highest quality weapons there, level 25 and up. And let's see what is currently enabled as primary and secondary. Well, they're 25 level weapons, so they're very good. We have a classic AK-47, 17,682 DPS. DPS is damage per second. And let's just have a look at the rest. Well, I have the other weapons there. they're not accessible because I'm still slightly underpowered. We have enhanced BP-19, that's 2546. Submachine gun, well, I guess we can try that submachine gun as well. And in fact we'll try it straight away. I think it's the one I've got at the moment. AK-47. Okay. Let's try that one. Make it primary. So for instance, what I really love about the Division is you can be modding your weapon. So all the bits you collect in the battlefield you bring back, and then they can be added to your weapon. So watch this. This is your weapon, enhanced BP-19. We'll go through different slots and then find out. So we click on that. Let's see. Osprey 45 suppressor is now enabled. Magazine, extended magazine, high velocity magazine. Let me see whether this is level 28. Extended magazine. No, we're not going to take that. Well, actually, yes, we are going to take that. We are going to take that. Because it was attached to my sniper. I don't need to have an extended magazine on my sniper. Let's see, skins, I don't have any. Optics, we have holographic sight. We don't want any of that, that's not particularly good, is it? Well, we'll take that one then. It's so much better than the other. Headshot damage 3.50% and accuracy 1.50%. Well, we'll see how well this will do for us. So we just increased our firepower a bit. The rest we don't have to worry about too much. We'll keep all of those because you know, we'll need many of those as we carry on. So what does it say? Overview. Okay, that's overview. So now we have inventory, improved stamina mod. Okay. Sekapupu says he has to go. Well, thank you very much, Sekapupu, for coming in. Thanks very much for watching my tutorial on the Division 1. If you want to come back later today, I will have another stream after my dinner and after my walk, and you'll be able to you know, join in, and then I will be doing some missions. I had to do this because the inventory is very complex, and I had some messages coming in saying that people wanted to get to know more about inventory and how things are used. So I you know, will be indeed coming back with a lot more action later today. This had to be completed in isolation because I'm playing it in a team of 4, and because I am team of 4, I don't have time to do inventory whilst we are battling out, you know. So that's big as well. Thank you. We had some requests coming in from Poyaski, our French community member, and I'll just send him a message saying I can't really join at the moment. Bear with us, it'll be just a moment. I apologize for slight delay. I had some invitations coming from our division community members, and I just had to tell them that at the moment I'm doing this tutorial, then I do a very, very brief mission, and then I'll go for my dinner. So I'll be able to join them, and they'll be able to join me as we resume with our broadcast later today. So that is all sorted. Right. So let's have a look. I've got these mods in there. Wait a minute, it's just not looking right. Just a moment, I don't want any of those mods to be not active. Okay. So let me just have a look. So all of these are indeed able, up and running and active. They just need to be brought into the weapon. So if we are to be equipping those mods, we need to go to the weapon, and then we are going to attach those to them. So that's what it is. Okay, overview 1. So let me just quickly have a look. We have our secondary in there. Yeah. Go to the secondary, have a look at the mods. Primary again. Oh, I've got it. Yeah, not all of the weapons can have specialist mods attached. So this one does have Osprey 45 suppressor, as you could see, and therefore it's a powerful weapon. And then we get all the information here to our right. Okay, so that's the inventory's been sorted. Don't have to worry about it at the moment. So loadouts, we have Alpha, and we'll just override that at the moment. Put this loadout in there. Okay. Let me see, character 402 on my firearms, stamina 574, electronics 580. Yeah, I mean, we've got all these other bits. I don't want to look at that at the moment, but I just remembered there is another item in here which needs to be enabled, or maybe not. No, we can't enable it. It's level 27. I've got the best one. So very quickly, okay, we've looked at the weapons already. First wave is level 25, 14. No, that's not really the best weapon. The best weapon we've got is so 17. Yeah. This is going to be the best weapon, most powerful, and very useful. This pistol is very useful. Wait a minute, just have a look. Enhanced BP. Skull. Okay, we can't really do that. True enough, I don't want to be using that. Mod again. No, it's not the best, is it? No, it is, that's right. Nothing there, magazine. No, we don't want to do that either. Okay, so there's nothing more to mod in here. We've looked at these mods already. Now we're going to look at our gear. Let's see. Performance pads 219, they're better. And then we have armor. Oh, hybrid mask is much better. 193, we'll keep that one. So we'll put that improved stamina mod on that mask, which is going to be giving us some extra power. Okay, so that's good. The improved stamina mod is visible there. Alright, so that's good. And then we'll look at the armor. All-terrain vest is good. Mod that. No mods for this, by the looks of it. Armor. Okay. Wait a minute, this is strategic pack. Okay, we'll mod that. Best one, right? Smart cover duration, that's good. And then we have yeah, responder backpack will be much better, but we need to get to level 30. We need to get level 30 to get it. And all-terrain gloves, Sentry School gloves. Let's see, responders gloves. Okay, nothing to do there. Armor. Put this one there. So they're all modded. We have plenty. Improved performance mods, mobile cover, health. Okay, good, and that's the last one. Nothing in there. What's this? Nothing in this category. Looks like medals. Loadouts. We'll do loadouts again. Equip this. What we've got. Equip loadouts. And character. Seen that pouches. Grenades 3, grenades 1. Okay, consumables. Okay, an appearance. Hats. No, we'll keep that siege cap. I'm happy with that. And then pants are military, yeah. Shirts. Running top green, cardigan. No, that's all fine, I'm happy. Patches, division shield, shepherd. Yeah, it's a better one. Jackets, bomber jacket green, scarves. Okay, that's good. Indigo shoes. Terrain shoes, they might be the best. Yeah, that's right, we'll keep those terrain shoes on. Alright, so that's all done and dusted. We don't have anything else to do. So the only thing we need to do at the moment is to do a quick mission in order to polish off this broadcast. As I said, it is a shorter broadcast because I want to be going out for my dinner, which is my Sunday dinner, and then I want to do some swimming and a bit of walking, and then we'll resume later today. Yesterday we had a marathon stream on the Destiny 1. If you guys were here, well, you would have seen we had some wonderful teams coming in, and we cracked on for more than 12 hours on the charts, and that's really quite rare. I rarely do streams like that, but it was very enjoyable and we all loved it, and I had a lot of fun. Plenty of entertainment for everyone. And let's just crack on with a short mission now to polish everything off. It says talents not assigned. How can it be that they're not assigned? I've just done them. And then the other one I collected was that one. Save loadout. Yep, that's right. So we've got those equipped. Need to talk through Benitez and Faye. We'll talk a bit later. But at the moment, what we'll do is we'll just do a very quick mission. And let me just see, that will be... So we are here, we can look at hostage rescue, which is nearby. Why not? We'll do that.
The green poison. Where'd it come from? Some yuppie scum millennial helicopter mom refusing to give a kid the
Feel like taking on a tough one?
So we'll do hostage rescue. And there are some other purchases obviously for us to do later on. Not right now. Blood lens officer. I need to get out of there now. I forgot how to get out.
Somebody cooked this up on purpose. And maybe it got up by accident, or maybe they let it out on purpose. But either way, if you don't think the federal government is involved in something,
We'll just do a very, very quick hostage rescue mission, and then we'll finish this broadcast, and after that, with a lengthier broadcast, that will be action alone. No more inventory or anything, but as I said, because we were battling it out yesterday for 12 hours, I had little time to do all the admin, so I've done that today.
Warning, now leaving the safe area.
Right, let's quickly race to this area. Let's make sure we get everyone rescued as hostages in no time, and then collect some goodies. Oops. Okay.
Haven't seen much kindness lately.
She was a civilian in need, and we've given her 1 energy bar.
Slim pickings.
Enemies are ahead.
Gas in! They're killing us!
Change to my secondary weapon. Okay, right gun. Pick something up from him. I don't know what it was. Didn't see it. Alright. Rescue those hostages.
Calling all JTF near Penn Plaza. Need an extraction team at Kerman's on West 34th. Civilian hostages on site.
Money? Huh? What kind of watch is that?
You don't have to do this. Just let me go and no one has to die.
Hey, anybody hungry? Oh, cut the bullshit, huh? Nobody... Let's take care of business! Show 'em what we got! No survivors, no prisoners. Dead! Oh, show 'em what we got! Kill 'em! Cover me! Reload! Careful, guys!
He's gone down now.
Somewhere, please.
Oh, there's the key. I got it. Okay.
Thanks for getting those civs out alive. I'm tired of losing good people.
That was
2 hostages in here. Okay, so that's all actually perfect timing as well. Look at that. Some stash in there. Level 26, polythene pads. We need to see. Did I take them? Oh. Yeah, I got them there. Inventory, new item. No. They are level 26, but actually the ones I've got are better. And were they modded as well? Yep. How come I didn't mod them before? Don't know. So they're modded. They have a specialist mod there, improved performance mod, so that's good. Okay, so that's all done, and that will be the end of our broadcast for now. We are going to continue later today where our adventures will carry on. We'll do it obviously with a team of 4, so plenty of action to come. When you look at the map and when you go to mission overview, you can see we completed lots of different missions, but there are many other ones that still will require attention. We have those incursions, 1, 2, 3, 4, they will need to be done, and then we'll have lots of encounters, as you can see, many encounters, and then we'll have some events as well. So we'll literally do every one of those one by one, and then we'll replay some of them if necessary. And as I said, we'll do that with a team of 4. So, go back to the inventory, and then we go to log out, and we go back to our menu. Thank you very much for coming. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial which I've given you on the inventory and how to use your talents and skills and perks and how to mod your weapons and how to do a few things when you're doing your admin on the character. I played one mission which was nice and easy. Weapons worked very well. One thing I need to tell you is if you are playing a multiplayer in a team of 4, then make sure that the people on the team are roughly your level. You're level 15, somebody else comes in on level 30, the best possible kind of move kit. The enemies will be brought up to their level, which means your weapons will be less effective. So keep this in mind. In addition to that, you are going to be more vulnerable to incoming fire, meaning 1 bullet, 1 kill, you know, like 1 shot, 1 kill coming from the enemy, unlike the other enemies where they can be firing at you for a while and you're not going to be sustaining much damage. So if you are in a team of 4, where other guys have got more power and they're leveled up to the top, then you need to play a rear position, like a stealth position. You need to watch the back, you need to provide cover fire, you need to distract the enemies rather than be in an offensive role, you know. In an offensive role, you will be killed instantly because you have no cover, right? And also everything you've got will be much weaker than otherwise. If that is happening, it's not to do with hit registration ratio, it's all to do with the way you know, leveling up works here in the game. So remember that. Anyway, I'm off to my dinner. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your comments and views. Thank you for being with us and being obviously part of our community. Being a part of our community means that you are always interacting and connecting, not just with myself, but everybody else is here and worldwide. And I'm very grateful for all of your participation. And indeed very grateful to my teammates Cannibales, Creed Happens, Cat77096, Boyaski, SVT18D and Matthias. Thank you guys for making yesterday absolutely wonderful, thoroughly enjoyable and very exciting for all of our viewers. Thank you all and I'll see you later on. Have a good afternoon.